Hello.
Hello. Yes, you can start, Manju Prasad.
Yes. So, good afternoon, all. This is Manju Prasad from TaxBuddy. From last 2 years, I'm working as a tax expert and team lead in a TaxBuddy. Today, we are discussing about the advanced tax. So, what is the meaning of advanced tax and the tax? What is the estimated tax liability? How can we calculate the advanced tax? And what is the due date? And if you miss the advance tax, then what is the interest portion you need to pay extra, like that? And what is the procedure you need to be follow for the payment of advance tax? All the things we can go through now. So first, what is the index we can discuss today is first we go through the meaning part. After that, we are go to calculation, means what is the advance tax and what is the estimated advance tax we need to calculate, and how to calculate that one we can explain that one. And who is liable to pay the advance? So this is the main one. So who is liable to discuss that one? Apart from that, what is the due dates is there, and interest portion for delay and non-payment of advance tax, and the procedure tax payment will be is there. So first we go with the first slide, that one. What is the meaning of? So advance tax is nothing but it is income tax only. But if you need to pay a lump sum at the year end, instead of that one, you need to pay in installments. Okay. So government provide you the benefit that one. So you can pay the advance tax in an installment, 4 installments, that will reduce your burden for the time of filing. Okay. So this is a way of when you earn the money, so you can pay the tax to the government on installment basis on a timely basis to reduce your burden and regularly inflow to the government the revenue. Okay. So it will be helpful for person also, like individuals, otherwise it is helpful for a government also. So both the way of helpful is a advance tax. So as per the meaning, so advance tax is the income tax that is a paid in advance instead of a lump sum payment at the year end. So if you need to pay the advance payment, but for the year end you need to pay, so you can pay in an installment wise, so that is called an advance tax. Okay. So you need to estimate your tax liability for the advance tax payment. So then we know to how to calculate the advance tax. So this is the main one. Okay. First, before advance tax, first we need to calculate what is the estimated tax liability. So for this one, you need to estimate your total income from all the sources like salary, house property, capital gain, and income, income from other sources, business, like everything. Okay. You need to estimate your you estimate your total income from 1st April to 31st March for that financial year. Okay. So you need to first calculate all the total incomes. Okay. After that, you need to reduce. So what are the eligible deductions is there? Okay. Like example, ATC deductions like tuition fees and like ELSS, EPF, housing loan interest part, insurance premium, like that. This is ATC deduction, and ATD deductions is there, like that. Insurance, medical insurance premium, medical expenditure for your parents, like that. Apart from that, ATU, ATGG, so many deductions is there. So you can eligible, what are the eligible deduction is there, you can subtract all the deductions and exemptions, like that section 10 exemptions like HRA, traveling expenses, and like food coupons, like that. So many deductions exemptions available in under section 10. You can reduce all the deductions and exemption part. Apart from that, you have a loss in the previous year, then you can set up that losses, means you can estimate what is the profit you done for the current financial year, what is the losses you done for the previous year. You can reduce that portion also. Okay. So if your losses is more than your profit for the current financial year, then also you don't go for any advanced tax calculation, and you don't pay any advanced tax at all. So this is the After you come with the estimated total income with all the sources, and you subtract all the eligible deductions and the exemption, then you compute the tax on such income. What are the total income you come, you need to calculate the tax. So with the old regime or new regime, like that. Apart from that, capital gain, so short term is taxable at 15% for equity, 10% for a long term equity, like that. So long term capital gain 20%, like that. You need to calculate it on the estimated tax. Okay, so what are the tax is there, you need to calculate. Apart from, after calculation of the tax, you need to reduce the tax you already paid by way of TDS or TCS. Okay, so if you have a profession income, then you have, under section 194J, you already, they are already deduct the TDS at 10%. So if you have purchased any car, they will deduct the TDS after 10. If the car is about 10 lakh, then they deduct the TCS. So like that, so many TCS is done. So you can reduce the TDS portion from the tax liability. What is that tax liability will come, you can reduce that portion. After that, your tax liability if greater than 10,000, then you have to pay the advance tax. Okay, below 10,000 if came, there is no any liability to pay advance tax. Okay, so this is the estimated tax liability we need to calculate. Okay, next we can discuss to whom should pay the advance tax. Okay, so whether you are individual, whether you are a company, whether you are AOI, artificial judicial person, or any person. So you need to pay advance tax if your total tax liability is 10,000 or more in a financial year. Okay, so it is applicable for all the employees, means is a salary person or a business person or from other source, anything. Okay, so you need to pay advance tax in a timely manner with the installments if your age is below 60 years. Okay, if your age is above 60 years or more, so then you have to, okay, you have to check whether you are run a business or not. Okay, if a senior citizen, you do not run any business, in don't have any business income, then you can exempt from the payment of advance tax. Okay, so if you have a 60 years and above, you have a run a business, then you have a applicable for advance tax calculation. So apart from that, government will give a concession for the small businesses and professionals, like 44AD is a presumptive scheme and 44AD is a presumptive scheme. Both of them, they can pay, the advance tax, means what is the tax liability they need to pay is about 10,000. They can pay it in only one installments in between, on or before the 15th March. Okay, so if they have missed the deadline, they can pay it by 31st March also. That will be considered also, advance tax only. So if the salary persons, if any other person who missed the deadline, for the 15th March, they can also pay till 31st March. That will be also considered as an, advance tax payment only. So there is no any, not that much of late fees or, interest portion will arises on that part. So hope this will be understand for you. So next thing is, what are the advance tax due date for individual and corporate taxpayers, or means for in and everyone. So this is the first due date is, for example, if you start with the 23-24 financial year, so on or before 15th June of 2023, like a previous year, that will be the first installment you need to pay. So you need to estimate your, tax liability for the for 23-24. For example, your estimated tax liability will come 15%, 50,000. Then you have to, for example, if I taken as a 1 lakh as the, example, then you have to pay nearly 15,000 as the advance tax you need to pay in a first installment. Okay, second, you can take the 15th September. So on or before 15th September in a previous year, this is the second due date. Okay, so for this due date, you need to pay nearly 45% of advance tax. So already you paid 15%, so you can reduce that portion. So you need to pay 30%. For example, if you taken as a 1 lakh as a tax liability, so you can reduce already 15,000. So 45,000 minus 15,000, the 30,000 you need to pay in a second installment. So third, we come with a third installment that will be in a 15th December for the previous year. So here you need to pay up to 75% of advance tax, means what are the estimated tax liability you gain. So that you need to pay 75%. For example, if 1 lakh is there, you already paid 45%. So 75% is there. So you can pay only 30% in that third installment. So on or before 15th March for the 2024, like that previous year, so you need to pay up to, it means 100% of advance tax. Otherwise also you need to pay 95% and above advance tax. Then you are not applicable for any interest portion at all. So this is the due date. You can check it once, because only 7 days to go for the last installment. Okay, you can paid in on time to reduce your interest portion. So it will be helpful to reduce the your interest charges. Okay. And for the presumptive taxation scheme, there is only one advance tax that in a single installment. So they can pay before 15th March of the financial year. Otherwise, then till 31st March they can pay. That will be also considered as an you know advanced tax only. So these will help you to understand that what is the due dates for individuals with a business income, with a small persons, so who are the corporates, like that. Okay. So next we can discuss that one. If you miss the advance tax, okay, if you miss the advance tax, then you are liable to pay the interest. Okay. So first is that one, non-payment of advance tax will attract under section 234B, means you did not pay anything. Okay. So if you non-payment advance tax, so your tax liability after reducing all the TDS, everything, okay, your income, means what is the total liability is there, is about 10,000, okay, more than 10,000, and you did not pay any advance tax, then you will attract with 1% of 234B interest. Okay. You paid the advance tax, but advance tax paid is less than 90% of assessed tax. Okay. So then you have to pay nearly 234B interest on that portion. Okay. If the taxpayer files an updated return, so that will be introduced from new one, so that one in a budget 2023. So if you have go with the updated return, if you claim any excess refund with the fake deductions, then you can go for the updated return. Then you have to pay nearly 234B interest. That will be, you have to pay extra, okay, at the time of updated return. So, okay. So for the interest portion, for 234B, interest is calculated at 1% on assessed tax minus advance tax. So assessed tax is the final tax, is will be assessed on your previous year income. And what is the advance tax, what is the TDS you already paid, we need to less everything. After that, 1% you need to pay on that amount is a part of a month. Means if you paid less 15 days is late, that will be not considered as okay, it will be considered as complete month only. Okay. For example, you take that one. For example, your tax liability for the financial year is 22-23 amount is 55,500. Okay. So you have paid an advance tax nearly 50,000. Okay. Up to 90% you already paid. So then there is no any 234 will applicable for you. Okay. So then when go for the next example, so your tax liability is 48,000. Okay. But at the time of filing, so at the 12th June of 2024, like for example, you pay the advance, or pay the self-assessment tax, then your tax liability is more than 10,000. On that part you need to pay 234B interest is 1%. Okay. So you will pay in a 12th June, so April, May, June is a 3 months later. So 48 into 1% into 3 months, so 1,440 you need to pay as a 234B interest. Apart from that, second interest part is delay. Okay. So delay in payment of advance tax will attract interest on section 234B. So means you need to pay 15%, but you need to pay, you already paid only 10%, like the 45% you need to pay, but you reduce that proportion. So if you paid in a short advance tax payment, then this section is applicable for you. Okay. If advance tax paid by 15th June is less than 15%, so 1% per month from the next quarter till next 3 months you need to pay. For example, this amount is a 15% of what is the estimated tax liability is there, minus tax paid before June 15. So that will be the amount you need to be paid. So if your advance tax paid by 15th September is less than 45%, then 1% per month for the next 3 months you need to pay. If your advance tax paid by 15th December is less than 75%, so 1% per month per next 3 months you need to pay. If your advance tax paid by 15th March is less than 100%, then 1% per month you need to be paid. So as per 234C, so it will applicable or make the short payments. Okay. So after that, we can go through that one, how to pay advance tax online. Okay. So you can visit to the e-filing portal of Income Tax Department of India. Okay. You can check with the quick links. Okay. There is a e-pay tax is available. You just click on that one. Okay. This is a one way. Another way is there. We'll go through, once to next slides. Okay. You can enter your PAN number with a confirmation with the two times, and you can enter your mobile number. You can get a continue with that, and you can get a OTP. You can enter OTP, and you can continue with the next slide. Apart from that, go to the direct pay. You can just log into your income tax website, because this is a safer side. Because if you enter any wrong PAN number, then you need to wait for a corrections. Okay. Otherwise, you just log into your income tax website and go to the e-file and select to the e-pay tax. Okay. You can go to the same page. What is the slides we have shown before. Okay. You can go with a two-way also. You can log in. Otherwise, you can directly enter your PAN and you can get to the OTP. Okay. So here you can select the income tax and you can go with a proceed. Okay. Next is you can select the assessment year 24-24. This is for a financial year 23-24. You can type of payment is a advance tax. Okay. You can select the advance tax and go with the continue. And what is the estimated tax liability, and how much amount you need to pay, you can enter in a tax column. Okay. And interest portion, if there you can enter the details. You can go with the continue part and select the payment method and the bank. Okay. You can use any, what are the option you have for the net banking, you can use that one. Otherwise, you can use a payment gateway. You can UPI option is there. You can go with a QR code mode is there. UPI mandate created is there. It will helpful for the taxpayer. Without communication, without internet banking sharing, you can make the payment with a payment gateway. That will be useful. Okay. So after that, you can check with a preview. Okay. So whether an assessment area is correct, financial area is correct, and what is the minor rate, and those are the major rate you need to pay. So you can check everything. Okay. And you can check the tax amount also, whether you filled in a surcharge, otherwise in a tax. You can check with a with a weekly confirmation. After that, final submit to the bank, and you can enter everything and OTP, everything done. After that, the challenge will be downloaded. So if you can check that one, it will with a BSR code and seller serial number, everything is available. You can save it for future reference. Otherwise, it is available in a 26 years also. After some days, it will available in a 26 years. So this is the way of you can make the advance tax payment in a online. Okay. With two modes. Okay. We can directly, you can log into your income tax website and make the payment. Otherwise, you can select the direct mode also. So if you miss the filing date, means 31st no, July is the due date for other than audit cases, like a salary person we can file the IT return. But if you miss the due date, then you need to pay 234A interest under section. Okay. So this is applicable that interest will be levied at 1% per month as a part of the month periods. The 31st is the due date. So if you miss 31st July is the due date for 2024 is the for 23-24 financial year. If you miss the due date, then you have to pay interest from due dates to actual filing. For example, your tax liability for the financial year 2023 is 9,500. The due date for is 31/7/2023. Okay. You filed on 30 at 8. So 1 month is later. Then you will be liable to pay interest at 95 rupees. So 9,500 into 9% is a 1 month. So this is the liability you need to pay. Okay. So if you paid already all the taxes, means if you don't have any liability, then I think 234 is not applicable then onwards. Okay. So this is the advanced taxation. Any doubts in this?